welcome to another episode of DeFranco's Gym. I finally got a nice quick question today from Gary via Facebook. He asked me, Joe, what are your thoughts on ballistic stretching? Beneficial, dangerous, or a waste of time? Gary, great question. I think ballistic stretching is very misunderstood. I am a huge fan of it. We've been using it for years, incorporating it into our warm-ups. But the problem with ballistic stretching, like many other exercises, is that a lot of people do it incorrectly. If done properly, it can have dramatic effects and increases on your range of motion and your flexibility. It can drastically reduce your chances of pulling a muscle while doing things like sprints and jumps and ballistic activities. So I highly recommend you incorporate it into your warm-ups and into your training. But the problem I see is people go too far and too fast when they do their ballistic stretches. So classic example is the standing leg swing, where people will just swing their leg up as high as they can. They'll kind of keep their leg up. Actually, I think I just pulled my hamstring. Just kidding. But that's how people do a ballistic stretch. They go right into it and try to go as fast and as hard as possible. And not only do you increase your likelihood of pulling a muscle, even if you don't pull your muscle, you're not going to get as much out of it, because what happens is the stretch reflex will fire, and in this instance, we don't want it to fire. The stretch reflex isn't always bad, but what the stretch reflex is basically it's a feedback mechanism that will control muscle length by causing a muscular contraction. So if I go to swing my leg too fast, too far, and your body senses it's going to get hurt or a muscle is going to tear, it will make that hamstring contract so it comes right back down. So it won't allow you to increase that range of motion. It says, oh no, something's about to go wrong, contraction, and your leg will kind of contract and come back down. So it will prevent you from increasing that range of motion. Obviously, the last thing we want to see happen when we're trying to relax and lengthen a muscle is for it to contract and restrict that range of motion. So how do we do that? I'll show you in this classic example of the leg swing. You want to do your repetitions in a pendulum-like fashion. You want to kind of trick the body into increasing the range of motion. So I'm going to show you a couple reps, and watch how I start nice and light, nice and easy, and then after a couple swings, I'm going to go a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. So I would start here, trying to keep the leg as straight as possible, and I'm just going to go nice and light, nice and easy. Get that back swing too, so we get a little stretch on the hip flexor, hamstring, hip flexor, hamstring, hip flexor. Now I'm going to start increasing just a little bit. As you can see, taking my time, slowly but surely, working my way up there. So a big mistake coaches make, and I've been guilty of this too, is just telling your athletes, all right, give me a set of 10. Give me 2 sets of 10 leg swings. And guys just get up there and they start swinging away. You almost want to do it more for time, or allow them more repetitions to work their way up in that pendulum-like fashion. Because when you do it this way, you will get a lot more out of it. You will increase your range of motion and drastically reduce your chances of pulling a muscle. So give that a shot. Make sure you are warmed up properly before you perform your ballistic stretches. Make sure you do it in a pendulum-like fashion. Stick with it, and I guarantee you will see a difference in your range of motion and in your mobility and flexibility. Give it a shot, and we'll see you next time.